Hi, my name is Cora Nicholas, and today I'm going to be talking to you about Mary Kingsley and how she was an outlier. So who was Mary Kingsley? Born October 13th, 1862, in London, England. She was raised by her mother, and her mother was a housekeeper to her father. And then her father was a physician who traveled and was not really in Mary's life as she was growing up. Mary never went to school and only had her father's library to teach herself. When her mother fell ill, Mary had to take care of her, so she gained some valuable experience with nursing and taking care of someone with an illness. Mary lived at home until she was 30, when both of her parents died within 5 weeks of each other. She considered herself free from her job when her parents died. So, this is Mary Kingsley. She was a very beautiful woman. So the reason that we're talking about Mary Kingsley today is because in our EN 111 class, we read a book titled Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. So an outlier is somebody that goes against the normal path of success. Let's start by comparing Mary Kingsley to the Outlier book. Malcolm Gladwell starts with the 10,000 hour rule. What is the 10,000 hour rule? The 10,000 hour rule is explained as to gain mastery of anything, you need at least 10,000 hours to be truly good at it. Malcolm Gladwell uses this quote: "Of those concertos that only contain music original to Mozart, the earliest that is now regarded as masterwork, which is Concerto No. 9, was not composed until he was 21. By that time, Mozart had already been composing concertos for 10 years. Gladwell, 40, page 40 through 41. So, Mary Kingsley does follow this rule because of her father's very extensive library. She didn't go to school, but she spent well over 10,000 hours over her 30 years of life learning how to read and reading all of her father's books. And her father was a physician, so his library did lean towards science. Our second segment of compare is wealth. Mary Kingsley came from a very wealthy family. So when her parents did die, she had about $4,000 in inheritance from her parents. So she had the necessary funds for travel and then lecturing and teaching. She had all the funds. And then later she would be funded by people in England to continue her studies. As for the contrast aspect of this project, Mary Kingsley is an outlier because she contrasts with the Matthew effect. What is the Matthew effect? The Matthew effect is that you have an inherent ability to do something because of the time or place you were born in. Mary Kingsley does not apply to the Matthew effect because she was a woman in 1862 and she was unmarried, did not have children, and she was traveling by herself. All of the odds went against her at this point. What she did was amazing for a woman at that time. The quote Malcolm Gladwell best uses to describe the Matthew effect is, "It is those who are successful, in other words, who are most likely to be given special opportunities that lead to further success." Gladwell, page 30. Mary Kingsley did not have the opportunity to be successful. She was a woman in 1862. She was unmarried, which was incredibly unorthodox, and then she was traveling by herself, which was not only unorthodox, but almost unsafe for a woman, especially in West Africa at the time. So she had to work really hard for the places that she wanted to go, and that included being trained in first aid as well as nursing, so then she could travel up the mountains and canoe down rivers that she wanted to. Matthew effect, but it's labeled as opportunity. It's less about the time and date and more about what specific events in their lives led them to be successful. So Malcolm Gladwell uses the world of computers. So Bill Gates, Bill Joy, and Steve Jobs are the main examples in the book. All of these people had serendipitous situations. Bill Joy just happened to go to U of M, the year they got very expensive computers. And Bill Gates got transferred to a school that just happened to buy a really expensive computer system. They all had very specific events that led them to be incredibly successful in the world of computers. Timing. So Mary Kingsley was born in 1862 and her parents died in 1892. So the year that her parents died, she left for her travels. She first went to the Canary Islands and then Sierra Leone, then to Gabon and then Angola, and she ended in South Africa. So she landed in Sierra Leone in 1893, and then after that she returned to England to publish her travel accounts. In 1893, she returned to Africa on the dime of England they wanted her to continue her travels and research. On her solo travel, she discovered new kinds of fish. They're scattered around the board, unknown to the modern Western world. In 1895, she returned to England once more and gave lectures about her travels for the next 3 years. And then the Second Boer War was started in 1900, and Mary Kingsley, with her previous nurse training, went to South Africa to work as a nurse, and there she died of typhoid. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. Mary Kingsley was an amazing person as well as an outlier. Thank you.